Today, I want to talk a lot about mastering effective skill moves and some rules that will help you guys. These are the things that I feel really helpful for mastering effective skill moves. If you're not really gifted with skill moves, I think it's really important that you don't do too many, because then you have all these skill moves you learn, but you don't know when to do them, how to do them instinctively, when to operate them, and maybe even more importantly, how to do them in like tight spaces, how to do them when you're going up against really good opponents, how to do them when you're nervous because you have too many basically on your mind. And a big misconception is that you'll watch people play and assume that they know how to do everything all the time. And the reality is these guys that are really amazing at the game, we've been playing for 10 years, 15 years, and we've learned skills throughout those years, right? And some of them have been taken longer to properly add in. Some skill moves talk to you better. So I like saying pick 3 skill moves. And then the next one being invest in those skill moves. And when I say invest in the skill moves, it means that you're actually learning how to do them every single direction. You're learning what players really shine in the way that they execute. You're understanding the spacing between those skills. If you're using skill moves, a big portion of that is sometimes baiting your opponent into making a mistake while you're doing that skill. So that means like I will do a first skill knowing that I'm able to close the space between myself and my opponent. And the reason that closing the space is important is because it makes him have to commit, or makes him nervous, or puts me in a better position to be a little more aggressive. So sometimes I'm doing a skill knowing that I'm not going to beat my opponent with that skill, but I'll either get better spacing, I'll force a mistake, I can do something reactive. So one of the most common combinations that we see is when people do ball roll into a scoop turn. I think we've all seen this skill before. It maybe is the most effective combination skill at the moment, to the point that it's not even looked at as a combination. A lot of people just say, oh no, it's a ball roll scoop, because it's so quick, it allows you to change direction. But it's still a good example of combinations and creativity. So sometimes effective skill, in my opinion, would be the Elastigo. So I think the Elastigo is dope. Like there it is. But you can't do this skill 5 times in a game, most games, and have effectiveness. Like it's something you catch somebody off guard with, in my opinion. It's a very effective skill, but it's still very it's sometimes, and I don't even want to say it's situational, because like you can use it more than once. It doesn't have to be the one time you caught somebody off guard. And then the last one that I'm going to have on this list, and if there's any skills that are missing here and you want to ask about them, go for it. It's probably the La Croqueta. But remember, the La Croqueta is very situational. You can't cancel it anymore, but I love like this type of situation. So I'm here in the box, right? La Croqueta, boom. So if I was facing this way, boom, stop, La Croqueta from there. So like a lot of times what happens, I'm facing, I do the fake shot and then onto the La Croqueta real quick out of nowhere. And because I'll do it in like these dangerous areas inside the box, it makes it where like if it works, I get a goal as I just skied it, but I'll get a goal. And you can catch your opponent off guard. What you're doing with beating the keeper, you're struggling with this, right? Where your keeper's coming and your ball rolling around him. To beat the keeper is then to also use the left analog stick. So when the keeper comes out, I ball roll and then I take that side touch with the left analog stick as well. A lot of people that struggle with the ball roll are only doing the ball roll. So you're only doing that. So, right, I'm going to ball roll him, but then I take another side touch. The reason that that's important is if the keeper comes out and he doesn't go down, you're not out of the play as well. So you can walk it around him. So it's a secondary touch. So when the keeper comes out, one, and then you can see like now he's not there, but I'm not out of the play. I still have a chance to score. I can make a pass if I had a teammate. But it often will preserve it from the keeper getting it, which is important. I mean, timing is really important, but do you see the secondary touch with the left analog that I'm talking about? So normal would be here. And then what I'm doing is here, and then there's that second touch. So with the left analog, bam, second touch. You see it again? Now, again, if you're just doing the ball roll, it's there. He doesn't do the second walk around touch. You've got to hold it with the left analog, and you can take it out wide, and that gives you the chance for a third touch or a fourth touch if needed, but you're still score the goal. Whereas if you put all your cards when you're running straight at him like this, if you slightly mistime that, he'll get it. That's the problem. This will change the way you play FIFA that doesn't have skills involved. And there's a lot of people that are so good at this that they don't even, I don't want to say they don't need skills, but they don't use them as much. So in this scene, I think it's harder to show here, but you're like basically going back and forth really quick and in certain directions. And you can see these little half touches. You basically are getting 2 touches when other people are getting 1 touch. And for bigger turns, you're not going to get 2 touches, because all of this is left stick dribbling. And then of course it allows you to score goals from there. So let's get into the next step then, because you can't do it in the arena. Trust me, you will not be able to do it in a game. The next step is always going into skill games. You can pick a skill game. It doesn't matter that much. A lot of them will get you the practice. I've always used a lot of these scenarios but it's the same thing here. Then you go into, can you effectively do these, different skills quickly? So that was like body feints, as you saw. Here's a fake shot, right? If you can't do a fake shot, you're going to struggle. So the next step is going into the skill games. And then from there, you're going to progress into, of course, gameplay. And that's where you have to be able to do this from all directions. And this is where I really want to focus on